Hey, I have an idea I want to run by you, and it's one that I heard, I can't remember, a few years ago now, and it has like really changed the way I see things. And it's a little bit cheesy, but like when you bring it on board, it makes a huge difference. And it's just a simple question, right? It comes in different forms, but I'll give it to you in this direct form. What if you can handle anything that's thrown your way? Like, what if you can handle anything that comes up? Right? So, whether it's the stress of that job or here in the holiday season, dealing with all the commitments, or, maybe it is that change you're looking to make in January. Maybe you're going to quit drinking. Like, what if you can handle it? I don't know about you, but like me personally, I spent so much time focusing on like, what if this doesn't work? What if I can't do this? What if I'm not going to be able to quit drinking? What if I'm not going to be able to quit smoking? What if I'm not going to be able to make this change or do that change? What if I'm not going to be able to show up in the way I want to? The thing that's really funny to me, and this is the piece of it that got me thinking, uh, I have handled everything that's come my way. And so have you. Like, if you take a step back and you think about it, every single problem that's popped up in front of you, one way or another, you've dealt with. Now, I'm not saying that you've done it in the perfect way, right? I'm not saying that like it's 100% wonderful. I'm not saying that you don't look at dealing with a problem and say, you know what, I wish I'd done that differently. But the reality is, every single thing that has popped up in front of you, you have dealt with. So if that's the case, right? Like if that is the case, that like you have handled it, what if there is this sort of unseen, invisible well of resilience inside of you, right? Because again, there is. Because again, you're watching this video. Yes, there are ups and downs, but you do keep bouncing back, right? You do keep trying. I want you to just like spend some time thinking about this idea, right? So normally I will hear someone say something like, well, that's really great, Scott. That's awesome. And like, good for you. And I see how that applies to others, but not me, right? I'm dealing with fill in the blank. And here's why that's different, right? And usually it is some sort of a problem that they don't really know the answer to. And it's something completely new to them. And they're not sure how it's going to play out, and on and on and on. But if you, again, take a step back, the reality is we have all dealt with shit that's new. We have all dealt with shit that we didn't know how it was going to turn out, and we didn't know how things are going to go, and we have gotten through it. Have we done it perfectly? No. But the reality is, and this is the thing that I sort of realized, is that like I was always getting through it. There were things that I've dealt with in my life that I did not think I was going to be able to handle. Divorce, being very close to like broke for a long period of my life, right? Relationship issues, changing my relationship with alcohol, quitting drinking. That was completely unthinkable not very long ago. And yet I did it. I showed up, and this isn't bragging, because you've done exactly the same thing. There have been things that when you think about it, you're like, my God, if I had known what I'd be dealing with, like, I don't think I would have known I could do it. But the reality is that you did. I have worked with so many clients that have had this insight, and it has really changed things, right? I have worked with people who say like, man, I don't know how I'm going to get through this alcohol thing. And yet I can pull out other experiences that they had in their life. And they were all experiences that they had no idea how they were going to work out, right? This is something that is true of every single one of us. Whatever comes up, we work through in some way, right? And we somehow start to believe that we can't handle things, even when there's all the evidence in the other direction, right? We start to believe like, oh, well, I can't do this or I can't do that. And there's a whole host of why, and we can talk about that. This is a great thing to bring up with a coach or a group to like talk through. We have the ability to handle every single thing that's in front of us. And the only thing that is stopping us from exercising that ability, the only thing that is stopping us from actually doing this thing is our thinking. Is we believe that this is somehow different. We believe that this is somehow, an anomaly. Oh, I only figured this out because of X, Y, or Z, or I only was able to do this because of A, B, or C. At the end of the day, you have weathered every storm up until this very moment. You literally have 100% track record at getting through things, with the exception of the stuff you're trying to get through right now. So is this going to be the one thing you can't? Maybe. Probably not, though, right? Like, this is what I see over and over. And this belief, this story that we have about like, oh, this is different. I can't, quote unquote, can't do this. I'm never going to get there, right? When we're in that mode, that stuff is what literally holds us back. Like I almost picture it as like, someone trying to run away, and this belief just like grabbing them by the back of the shirt and just holding on to them, because we really, as we start to say, I can't do this, or I'm never going to get there, that's going to become a reality. But even that is something that can be overcome if we recognize the fact that we have always risen to the occasion, right? At the end of the day, you have dealt with things you never imagined possible. This thing you're trying to change, this thing with alcohol, it's no different. It is something that literally billions of people have done. And so if you are feeling stuck, if you are struggling, and you are thinking, man, I have no idea how this is going to play out, I'm not going to make it, I want you to ask yourself this question. What if I can handle everything that's in front of me? When you look at it, you start to realize that that's true for you. And even if you don't know exactly what the path forward looks like, you know that you're going to get where you need to go. It's just going to take some time to figure it out. And that's okay, because every other problem you've had in your life, if you solved it in 5 minutes or 5 years, you've solved it. And that's the takeaway. What if you really can handle everything that's thrown your way?